First of all, GE is a very large company. We are not only on health. The health represents perhaps 10% of the whole budget, on the whole revenue, the whole human resource of the company. So we are working actively on nano in a transversal way. We have more than 150 scientists working in this field, but in fact they are looking at all type of application in engine, in health, in energy, all type of sectors. We try as much as we can to share this type of knowledge in the different field in order to focus in certain specific indication. Think that you need also to understand that most of the growth of GE is based on acquisition. We are much more a company focusing on development than really early research. Therefore, we have two types of model to move forward, or we just acquire a pure market share when the company has made the effort of research and development, effort in marketing and sales, and we just acquire something mature, or we try, and more, that's part of the open innovation model we try to implement, to work closely with different type of partners, mainly in the private part, the pharma industry, because in fact we do not have any real competencies in the pure chemistry or pure very early research. So we try to share this type of joint effort with the pharma industry because we have two complementary activity, one in therapy and us in diagnostic, but also with academia in order to look at this very active and fast emerging field and try to capture the opportunities when they will happen. And perhaps I will also just add to my answer my second act, because I'm also representing the European technological platform Nanomedicine in Europe. And it's a key element of our strategy, because we know perfectly well that most of the innovation will be handled and realized by a small company. So we need to put in place the adequate environment with the academia for the early research, SMEs for the innovation, and us for the support, and perhaps with a much broader perspective on the capacity to launch this product on the market. Saying that, for us, nano is just one solution. It could be any solution, or in fact, and I go back to what has been mentioned by Laurent, we just look at solution for treatment for patients. So we do not care, honestly, that it is a nanoparticle, or if it is a chemistry particle, or if it is a biological. It's not really our problem. We want something efficient. But for sure, when we look at the specificity of the nanoparticle, there are some specific fields where no other solution will solve the problem. So in fact, we move in a very opportunistic way to look at the different solutions per disease, per type of problem, and it's part of also of the personalized medicine in order to look at what will be the more promising things. But I think that going back to our effort in nano, we invest a lot. We do not have so much in the funnel, but we keep this expertise internally in order to collaborate with the external partner, both academia and private. Perhaps your turn, Christophe.
Yeah, well, maybe let's start off by saying I can only, let's say, cover with some knowledge the pharma part of Merck. As GE, we're not that big, but we have also a chemistry business, and nanomaterials have quite some applications in the chemical business. You can even even consider that the LCD screens have some nanomaterial in there. That's at least how it has been already said. And don't forget, the development of these materials have also been started 100 years ago, where the term nanomaterial was not even invented. So I can only, let's say, educated comment on what is the implication for the pharma business of Merck. And by saying that, I can only reiterate what has been said already. It is a solution. It's not that as such we would engage into that technology area because it's a hype or it's something that everyone finds currently interesting. It has to have a solution for our drug development process or in the end for the patient. That's for sure. It has to have some benefit, and it should not be more expensive than other solutions. But having said that, thinking about miniaturizing something, what is basically done with some of the nanomaterials applied in, let's say, the pharma area, everything that is leading to solutions for doing more in less with less sample, doing multiplexing, multi-analyte analysis, you can imagine for sure, and that's leading to biochip applications and so on, that this is for sure interesting in R&D, in early R&D, and for diagnostics in the R&D of drug development. So in that direction, for sure, there will be technologies, and there are more technologies to come, and there are already technologies in our drug development. From you can even think about patch clamp is a nanotechnology, right? It is all developed in the last years, and it's already contributing to our efficiency and how we do R&D. If you think about the classical business that we have, means bringing in the end an innovative medicine that is more effective than any other drug in this area on the market to the patient. Certainly it applies everything also again that is making a better half-life of a drug, that is giving more safety to the drug, that is helping to bring the drug to the place where it should work, that is helping to make devices that can be easily applied and dose better or safer or whatever more repeatedly to the patient. All of that is of interest, and we are working in one or the other direction, exactly the fields that I tried to mention. If you think about taking nanomaterial as a drug itself, we are not yet engaged into that area so much for different reasons, because maybe in some cases the proof of principle simply is not validated enough for us. In some other cases, we simply feel that the point of sales is not the same. That is maybe a special consideration from us as being a specialized pharma company, where you have specific channels for your current drugs that you are selling, and certain technologies simply don't fit into that landscape now. They might fit in the future, or there might be developments that for sure will then open up the door for that. And I would say, as always, if you roll maybe back 40 years, and antibodies have just entered the arena, and the classical pharma business said, well, this is too costly, it take ages to develop, who should ever sell that, it has to be injected, who wants that? Yeah? These have been reasons to neglect that area for a long time, and you all know that still, in the recent years, only a few of the bigger pharmaceutical companies have engaged into antibody development. Yeah? So I'm convinced that maybe today a lot of pharma companies are still a little bit holding off there. It's too new, and we don't know exactly what it is, and will it ever deliver on the promises it has. But maybe in 10, 15 years, we are talking just differently about that.
Chris, should I translate your comment saying that the first that will move into the area will be the winner?
That's a very good question, right? Hard to comment. For sure, there is some advantage to be the first mover, but having been in biotech and trying to sell protein biochips, as a first mover, I know how hard it is to sell these type of new technologies. So maybe it's better to be the fast follower in this area sometimes. So it's hard to predict who will win. and who will make the business in the end? I'm crossing the fingers for nanobiotics for sure, but you know, you don't know. If it's a killer application from the beginning, so if you have something that really can, as we discussed here on the panel, and I guess as the audience also clearly understands, brings clear benefit to the patient, I'm pretty sure that the first mover will make a very, very good business with it. It has to have these properties of, you know, low cost of goods, clear reimbursement, a nice price where you have your you know, let's say, fun in selling it, and then it will make a move into the market. And we all know these new type of things have always a high hurdle to be accepted by all the stakeholders, right? From being a pharmaceutical company up to the patient and up to the doctors applying this new drug. There will be always people that adapt quickly, but there will be also the ones, and the community will be large, that are doubting and want to first observe if this is really delivering on the promises. Yeah? So it's a yes and no answer again, and I'm not a lawyer.